Hey, welcome to the Emotional Fitness Club podcast, where you're just 10 minutes away from a great day every day. Now, we're just a week away from our official launch. So, on top of our E-WOD this week, I wanted to go through each day a different feature that changes your life. Now, the first one is our really, really unique journaling, our EQ journaling. So not just writing down your thoughts and strengthening the pathways of the past, which what's happened with a normal journal. I used to journal all the time, and it's just, you've got books upon books of journals, and you're just writing, strengthening things. Used to get clients to do this until I figured out a better way. And this, you can never find anything. There's no takeaways. Now, as you've heard me talk about probably a little bit, when you got an EQ journal, now look at this, right? This is just, not only is it beautiful, and I've just got beautiful pictures of all the things that make me happy with my gratitude. I've also got insights into things I'm proud of, things I'm letting go of, things I'm manifesting, things I'm, emotions I'm feeling into. I've got my workouts of the day in here. So it's like every day I'm getting a brand new workout. And it's just beautiful. Like every time I like to scroll, right? And it's like, oh, look, I can, see something within myself, or I get this beautiful thing in my daughter. It's just so much more beneficial. Now, what the big prompt of this is, and sometimes it's good to have a journal just to, it's just like, bro, I need to get this out of my head if you can't just talk it out with somebody. But like we said, there's three keys to EQ journaling. One is the dump or the declutter. There needs to be space or time in your day, in your week, where nothing's coming in. People can't get a hold of you. You're not looking at media. You're not doing anything other than allowing your brain to declutter itself. Two, we need to be prompted. There needs to be something that sort of says, hey, what do I do here? For me, it's what's the question? And you see some beautiful journals out there that have lots of little questions. That's really good as well in regards to prompting. But the number one thing we need to do is to take that prompt and then to create insight with it. Now, the beautifulness of this journal is we've got different folders, so we can have lots of our, longer journal entries where we're getting insights like, okay, I'm going to write this all down. And then we can actually make very easily, quick, searchable, actionable journal entries with an image that motively locks us into our emotions that we can use very quickly. It's like, let me have a quick look here. If I want to look at, okay, where are the things that I'm proud of, or where are the things that I've accomplished in the last 2 years, or the things that I'm working towards, or where have I felt growth in, or where have I found the gift, or what stories have I been telling myself? These are powerful prompts that I now have sections that I can easily find. You can't do that with a journal, right? It's just dumping. It's dumping. Maybe if you buy one of the expensive ones, you get some or some prompts, but you don't get takeaways and insights where I can see where I'm growing. I can see where I'm being challenged. I can see the change in the way that my language is. And when my language changes, which my writing changes, I can see that, my thoughts create my words, create my actions, create my habits, create my identity, my beliefs. And it all shows in regards to how we're so easily able to take and see the takeaways within this process. So it's such a powerful, powerful tool for self-growth. In fact, I think it's, I'm very, very biased. So you probably can't take my word for it. But the change I've seen in everybody that uses this process, rather than just, oh man, the amount of people that get stuck with journaling, the amount of people get stuck with therapy. I mean, standard talk therapy with a 45-hour session. This is why people stay stuck there for 10 to 20 years, because it's like I've got pressure and I've got a lid on it, right? And I go talk to someone and the pressure comes off and I feel better for a second. Sometimes I don't, if I've been triggered, but the same with journaling. It's like, oh, it's good to get it out. communication is great. It's great to get it out. It's great to have someone to talk to, right? It's great to have someone just to listen. This is what's so important about choosing the right friends, choosing and associating ourselves with the right tribe. And that also includes our family, right? We don't have to be put around negative energy if we don't want to, even if they are related. But that's where that importance is. But if it's not moving forward, it's not moving. If it's not changing, it's not changing. And the same deal as with talk therapy for many, many years. It's better than nothing. Going to your counselor, better than nothing. But if it doesn't actually produce an action, if there's no, okay, I've got this new understanding or I've got this understanding, this awareness, now let me inquire within. Now let me develop insight and action upon that. Then not much changes, right? It's sort of, we just stay the same. And you see that. I see people come to me that have been 2 decades in therapy, 2 decades. It's really common for someone to come see with me 5 to 10 years massively on medication, been doing all the right things, thinks they're doing all the right things, right? They've tried all these things. This didn't work. They went on the medication path. They've been seeing the therapist all the time. And it's like nothing's changed. In fact, if anything, they're in a worse place because one, they've strengthened all these negative neural pathways that keep them stuck in the past. Two, they've put in the effort and they believe so little in the ability that this can ever change, right? They've given up. So I can't, again, very biased, but this process, especially like this, even if you did nothing else other than every single day, use this process to do something you're grateful for, right? Like today's entry. Today, I'm grateful for the cheekiest, most headstrong, full of ball of joy. Your full buddy hugs melt my word. And there's my little daughter, Dusty. So it's just like, imagine having this Instagram feed. Normally everyone's getting this comparison. It's setting off your cortisol. Here, at any time of day, I can set an alarm here, right? I can just go, okay, edit this, put on an alarm, and when do I want this to either email me or push notify me about this beautiful little entry? And I can set that to even just once a month or one time every a year where it's just all these different ones come in and it's like, oh, I remember that. And it's just an instant feel good and an instant serotonin, dopamine release, or if it's a gratitude or something love, there's an oxytocin release. And that is a powerful counter to cortisol that I'm feeling most of the day in modern society, right? So anyway, let's get on to our actual E-WOD of the day and Trigger Tuesday today. So our E-WOD is, when did you last feel overwhelmed? What triggered it? And how can you approach it differently next time? Now, what we're trying to do is create a new awareness of our overwhelm triggers, right? So not only, when did you last get overwhelmed, but when did you feel it and where did you feel it? As I'm always saying, waiting till our mind goes, oh, I'm overwhelmed. That is, well, we get better and better at that the more we practice, right? And the more emotionally intelligent we are, the sooner we go, because I'm making sure I'm dumping every day and making sure I'm decluttering. So I'm actually getting this insight into myself. But the number one way, right? The number one way our mind or our subconscious communicates with us is our sensations and our imaginations or thoughts. So it's like, oh, I just got caught in a future episode or something in the past. Let me check in with myself. Oh, my next title. For me, my stomach's just dropped. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm feeling quite, narky or tense. Let me check in with that. Once we get better and better at noticing our personal sensations, and I can tell you, although there's little groups, within when emotions in the anger spectrum, in the disappointment, sadness spectrum, in the happiness, etc. There are groupings, but every client I've had, there's never been one that's exactly the same. They're all unique, and it's their job is to start to understand their sensation patterns. How does their subconscious talk to them? And at what level, right? When does our pressure in the chest become a shooting pain in the chest, or like someone standing on me in the chest? Like we need to really become so clear at what these sensations mean. And there's such powerful ways for us to go, stop, inquire within. So not only when did you last feel overwhelmed, but where in your body? How did that feel? And when you look at that overwhelm, now we want to inquire and go, okay, well, what happened? How did you react? How can you approach it differently next time? So let's say the most common thing is when I get overwhelmed or when people get overwhelmed, what we do is the stress, when I get overwhelmed, it's like I can't adapt fully or not right away. And so it's more likely for me to become a bit short with others, or I take out my frustration and my overwhelm on others. I'm scared. I try and look to the future to minimize that. Or maybe I start to micromanage a little bit more. Maybe I don't listen as much to others. I start to detach, or maybe I become more anxious and I start to fill space more. Or maybe when I'm overwhelmed, my brain goes a bit foggy and I just start to become more of a scroller, so I don't get more productive, which then sends me on this bit of a doom spiral. Being able to check in earlier with how we're feeling is so, so powerful. So that's your E-WOD for the day. Can't wait for EFC to launch, and can't wait for you to start to experiencing the power of everything that's in this whole system. I'll be chatting to you this week again. Chat soon. Bye.